Welcome to the podcast. This week's episode is all about friendships. Listen in on how the ladies share their past experiences, the good and bad, the lessons they learned, and where they stand today. So let's get into it. Hey, Layers.
Hey.
Hey.
How'd your week go?
Mine was peachy.
Mine was good.
I had a good week.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you didn't have a great week. So this episode, we're going to cover the topic of friendships. I found an interesting article in the Mayo Clinic, and it mentioned that friendships enrich your life and improves your health. What's your opinion on that, Karen?
I agree with that. I think it does enrich your life and it can improve your health. I think that when you're happy, when things are going a way that you want them to go, it can make your health better.
In this article, it also mentioned that friendships can have a major impact on your health and well-being, but it's not always easy to develop and maintain friendships. So with that being said, let's reflect on your childhood friendships. So at what age would you define a friendship, like your first friend? At what age was that?
The first friend that I can remember probably would be the 5th or 6th grade.
So what age would that be?
That's like
9,
10,
10.
11.
Okay. All right. What about you, Erica?
Probably 28 and 9. At like elementary school.
My first friendship was around age 5.
Really?
That's
Nice.
when we developed that. Getting ready for school, getting ready to go transition into kindergarten together. And that's the establishment of the friendship. What about you, Karen?
Well, what do you mean when you say friendship? I mean, is this somebody you spent a lot of time
No,
with?
this is a childhood friend.
Just somebody you knew?
Just a childhood friend. You know, when you're kids and you meet somebody at the playground and you're just like, you're my best friend. You know, everybody's your best friend.
Okay.
Right? It's
In that
it's so fun.
case, childhood, I would say probably second grade, Mr. Sells' class, 7 years old.
Right, about 7 years. So that's the right age. So, how long was that relationship? Was that childhood relationship?
We moved off of 8th Avenue, and I didn't see her again
So how
after
long
that.
was that?
Probably we were friends. Probably from kindergarten until about the 3rd grade.
About 3 years, roughly. Yeah.
What about you, Erica?
So I could think of 2 in particular. I had a friend in. We became friends because I was always like the shortest kid in a lot of my classes, and then I met her, and she was shorter than me, so she would always get picked on. So, anyways, I became friends with her. We were friends up until adulthood. Really, it was kind of it's just one of those. If I see you, I end up moving away, but if I see you, it's like memories and all that kind of stuff. And then my other friend, technically, is my ex-husband.
Okay.
I've known him since I was 8.
That's pretty dope. What about you, guys?
5th grade friend was up until my early 20s. Yeah.
And what was the reason that the relationship, like?
That's for a different podcast.
Okay. So my childhood friends are still my current friends. We still have a good relationship, and even though I don't see them, but it's one of those situations that we kind of pick up and like nothing happened. And the interesting thing that I was noticing in this article that I was reading is in regards to childhood friends, distance. They move. A person moves out of town, as Karen had mentioned.
Yeah.
You move away. Your parents move away. You switch schools, and then you go ahead and you connect back. So let's go ahead and transition into the fun years, adolescence, your teenage friends.
Fun for who?
Teenage friends, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, junior high school. When I went to school, junior high school was 7th, 8th, and 9th. We did K through 6, and then we had 7th, 8th, and 9th. And then high school was 10th, 11th, and 12th. What about you, Karen?
It's funny you said junior high because I think it's called middle school now. My middle school friend, I met her in middle school, and we are still friends to this day.
That's awesome. What about you, Erica?
I think that time frame, I had friends outside of school that I'm still friends with now.
I met the second best friend in the 7th, and we fell off at the same time. But then we kind of tried to pick back up. Then we fell off again, and we haven't picked it back up.
So, how would you describe your childhood experience as being a middle school? Because to me, I had a good experience, but even the kids, like there was just a few kids that we knew that they was the bullies, and we would jump on them, get them straight, or it would be like they would pick, and then leave you alone. Not like the dynamics that it is today. And I think that's why, as parents, we're gentle with them, with the suicide rate of our young kids, because it's different. They picked on us and left us alone, from my experience. But I know some people didn't experience that. So Karen, you're shaking your head. Let's take us there.
The kids, they picked and picked and picked, and they did not stop. What's amazing is those kids that were bullies, that picked and said things. It's almost like they I see them on social media, and they're like, "Hey, Karen," and I'm like,
You don't remember?
yeah, in my mind, I'm like, you don't remember the stuff you said, the things you did, you don't remember? And it's like they don't.
They think it was just a kid thing.
Yeah,
That's
they look
probably-
at it as a kid thing, and I don't think that they realize how much
It affects.
the impact. They don't remember, but I was in high school before the picking really stopped. High school, and I'm saying this stuff started in elementary, and it didn't stop until I was in high school. And the only reason why it stopped then is because by that time I had my groove where I was moving, and it was never with those kids I went to school with. My groove was somewhere else with kids older than me doing things grown people did. I hung out in a totally different circle than the kids that picked on me. So it stopped because I was somewhere else.
With your level of comfort, like what ways were they picking? Like what things in particular? What they were doing?
As a kid, I currently realize that I had alopecia then,
Okay.
but I didn't know why my hair would grow and fall out. And so my mother worked. There wasn't a lot of things that she could do to work with my hair, and so my hair was really jacked up, and they would pick and say stuff and point and just wreak havoc. We were very poor. They picked about that. We didn't have the latest clothes. They picked about that. Only reason why those things changed when I became a teenager is because I began to work, and so I was able to buy my own clothes
And provide for yourself.
and provide those things for myself. I did things where my hair was concerned. So, and I, like I said, and I started hanging out with grown people, with adults. And adults didn't do what the kids my age were doing.
Oh, kids are wicked. Like
Yeah.
adults are.
Yeah.
Kids are wicked.
Yeah, and there were some other things that came into play.
For another podcast.
Yeah, for another podcast, so the way I handled my emotions. Yeah, but yeah, I did not enjoy childhood and wouldn't take all the money in the world. I wouldn't go back.
I had one experience in my childhood. I had a huge gap in between my teeth. That thing was huge. No one ever said anything to me about it. Like I was grinning, cheesing, looking like a little Bucky Rabbit, Bucky O'Hare. So I'd be walking around grinning, smiling in people's face, except this one kid, this one guy. He didn't even live in the town that we lived in. He lived in like the adjoining city, and he said that my gap was so big you can run a train through it.
Kids is
Devastated me, like devastated me. So then I was asking my mom, can I get braces? Can I get braces? Like before I knew what braces was, because I didn't know how you close this thing. And people, looking at the kids in school, they were like, "Oh, I got braces, I got braces." And I would ask my mom, "Can I get braces? Can I get braces?" I used to roll up foil to practice to see what it looked like. It wasn't happening. We were poor. Like, my mom was not doing that. She was not having it. And, in hindsight, what you were saying, Karen, growing up poor, my whole block, everybody in this neighborhood was poor. Nobody said anything about it. Like, we all ran and got free lunch. We was all checking phone. Back in the day, you used to have the phone. I'm saying this to Kaisha and Erica because they don't know nothing about a payphone.
Thank you.
We checked the payphone to see if it was a quarter. See if it was changing there because we could do some damage. But that was my one and only encounter of bullying. And I was devastated by that. So I can't really imagine what you went through, on multiple occasions. That would definitely be hard.
But look at me now.
Okay.
Look at me now.
Okay. I'm making paper.
So for me, so I had a scar. I still have the scar on my lip. And the scar on my lip came from first grade. I think first grade I got the scar on my lip. And middle school was horrible. It was so bad. But it was really from the guys that actually liked me.
Okay. Oh yeah, that was the worst.
Because you just can't say you like me, bro.
They childish. They children.
Right. So, but and I used to come home crying every day about my doggone lip. Every day about my lip. And then high school came, and nobody cared one bit about my lip. They thought I was a cool chick. And so it really didn't hit me until I became an adult that, this is unique, it's kind of cute. And then my husband, he likes it, so.
For me, I as a kid, I used to get picked on because I have big lips. But no one ever, I wouldn't really say bullied because people knew I could fight. So, a lot of people were actually scared. I would act more so, in a sense, bully the bullies. So if I saw someone bullying somebody else, I would stand up for them, and then, they back down and stuff like that. People knew not to mess with me and knew who my brother was and all that kind of stuff. So I really didn't have to do much, especially after middle school.
They wasn't coming for it. So, in adult relationships, how would you view your adult friendships, and how would you put that in the category? Like, I know that you said that your childhood friend became your adult friend, and your ex was your best friend. So, tell us about that.
Yeah, him and I went to elementary, middle school, and high school together. We started dating after high school and stuff like that. So a lot of people knew us and was like, "Oh wow, them two," knew us growing up and stuff like that. Them two together, and then we were together for years. So yeah, he was definitely a close friend. I'm trying to think. He became a friend into adulthood, and then I also have friends that I have now that I've been friends with since I was like 12, 13. But they were outside of school. They was always much older. I've always been around much older than me, like 10 years older than me. And so the friends I have now are like those friends that was 10 years older than me. They're still in my adulthood.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Pat?
So I picked up the last friend in high school. And all three of those relationships pretty much ended at around the same time. But the friendships that I have, that was my early adult years. My friendship from, I'll say, 25 to right now, being 35. I have friends that are like true blue. Like, I actually have a lot in common with them. And when I don't have something in common, they will at least listen to, my Afrobeat. You know what I mean? Like, because she can't stand it. I don't think she can stand it. But she'll listen, you know what I mean? Or if I want to talk about, any of the goals and the things that I want to do, people listen. And they listen because they care. So the relationships that I have now are more, okay. The friends I have now are very genuine. And I think that's also because, well, I think I've always been a genuine friend, but I don't think it always has been received as friend, if that makes any sense. I think I was more of a friend to people who didn't
Appreciate.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reciprocate.
Yeah,
Reciprocate.
Or reciprocate. Sometimes that happens. My adult friendships were good. I don't have any issues with them. I had an issue with one friend, and that was the only encounter that I've had in my life of having beef with this one person. It happened in the adult relationship, but my friendships, I respect my friendships, and they respect me. Even when I was transitioning, because you have these people that you're hanging out with, you're partying with, and you're doing these things with. And even when it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm getting ready to start practicing my faith. I need to transition out of those friendships. They respected me, and I'm thankful for that. It was not a hard transition for me. And even so, like now, the friendships that I have, I can call that person, and we can kind of chit-chat and catch up just to see how things are going, what's going on, how things are going and what's going on. And it's fine, and I'm happy for that. It's nice to have
You shaking your head?
to reciprocate
Yeah,
that.
I wish I had that at the time that I needed that when I wanted to transition back into practicing my faith. They were like, nah, I don't care what you got going on. We're going to do what we're going to do over here. And that's just what it is. And so I think one tried to respect that. And and that's the one that kind of pops up every once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think under different circumstances, we would still be friends. And I don't have any, bad blood with any of them. Like if I see any of them, I would definitely speak. I will speak. But I am not interested in rekindling what it was.
Yeah, because you're just at a different phase in your
my
life.
life.
Like where we are, like you're just at a different phase in your life, and you don't want to revert back to those old ways. Sometimes some people are in that moment, and that those people like give them that nostalgia where they feel like, oh man, I remember we was hanging out. Or you remember you're listening to a song, especially Karen, because I know you love your music. You can listen to a song and know exactly where you were in that moment, and that friend that you were with. And I'm in the car, I'll giggle, I'll do my little dance, hey, but then I'm moving on because I'm past that
it.
part.
And nor do I think they would want to rekindle anything with me. It's not one-sided. It's not like I'm over here or above and they're like down here or on this. No, I think it's mutual. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Kim?
The one friendship I had in middle school, and we're still friends now. We bumped heads a few times in high school, and even in our like middle 20s. But nothing that was detrimental because we're still friends now. As a matter of fact, I think we're better friends as adults than we ever were in our childhood, when we were in middle school or high school. And I think what makes the fact that the reason why we're still friends is because we're in the same faith. I think we would still, I had some friends along the way, I call them seasonal friends, people that I've met in my journey, because I'm 58, so it's been a lot of time, and I've met a few people, and they've been there for a season, and then they're gone. But this particular friend, we came in and out of each other's lives since middle school, but in the last 20 years, we've been like tight, like nothing could split us apart, and we've just become even. It just gets better as time goes on.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention too, I had another friend that I would consider best friends for years. We started working together when I was like 20, and I just ended that friendship probably like 2 years ago. And I want to say, like, I learned the biggest lesson with that friendship. I learned oftentimes when we think about boundaries, we think about keeping people out and like having a wall and keeping people out. But I think with friendships and people who are close to you, I think boundaries actually help keep people in. And so with this friend, I didn't set proper boundaries, and I allowed her to step over, a lot of boundaries, and to the point where I was fed up and I was just like, I don't want to deal with you no more at all. And I feel like if I had set the proper boundaries, then it would have never got there, and she could still be my friend. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important dealing with friendships, especially in our adulthood and stuff like that. Just knowing the proper boundaries. Hey, this right here kind of gets to me a little bit, and establishing that with friends, and then people, that also keeps people in because they realize if they respect your boundaries.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because then I was thinking about what you were saying, Karen, about in your journey, how you came across a lot of people. I have encountered a lot of people. Do I call them my friends? Will I break bread with them? Will I do things with them? No. Even in regards to my relationship as my coworkers, I make sure that I set the proper boundary and put these people in their titles, because it was just certain things I wouldn't do with people. Like, I can tell you a number of people that I've never taken back to New York with me. They've never been to my sister's house, never been to my family's house, because to me, like, that's my safe space. I'm with my family. I can let my hair down, and it's almost like I'm neglecting the friendship, because when I'm with my family, I'm tuned into my family, and I really don't want to coddle a friend. Sometimes we develop relationships with friends, and you feel, oh, you didn't call me, and I needed you.
Oh yeah, that's exhausting.
Or it's exhausting, but just to separate the friendships, you have your
Kyle's over here laughing.
You have your associates, and you have your coworkers, then you have your friends. You got to put people in a category.
Right.
Why are you laughing?
I was just laughing because, like, there are people who really are that way when it comes to their friends, and they're like, if you didn't tell me you were doing such and such and such and such, and like, you're like,
we grown.
Right. I didn't tell you anything, and if you didn't go, it was the reason why.
Now I'm gonna go there.
We're not
Or
that close.
we might not, and it might not be a reason why. Maybe I just, that's
They
not the
want you
thing
to
with
go.
you.
There's different friends for different things. Now okay, you said boundaries. There were friends that, to be very honest, because of how things went when I was a kid, I was very eager for friends, and I allowed things with people, did not set boundaries because of that. But what I will say is the friend that I've been friends with forever, I have other friends now as an adult that I'm just amazed that I have friends. I'm just amazed. Not because I'm not a person that you can be friends with. I just always felt like, for a long time, I still felt like that girl.
Like you wasn't worthy.
Kind of get trapped in that, not necessarily.
The thought process of being the girl that everybody picked on.
Oh, okay.
So when I wasn't very approachable.
Okay, I got you.
Well, no, I take that back.
I can see that.
I was afraid to be your friend because I didn't know what your
intentions were.
Your intentions were.
Yeah, I can see you not being approachable, because even so, like, when I first met you, like, to me, like, when you walked in and I saw you, I was like, oh, she's beautiful, and I was just trying to navigate how I was going to speak to you, and then you came again, and I was able to talk to you, and it's like, I was like, hey, how are you? And you're telling me where you are and where you live at, and it was like on from there. Like, it was easy, and I'm the type of person that I can push through, but and I'll get to know you. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and if you rub me wrong, then I'm gonna fall back. But I will push through and have that conversation with you. I'm so thankful that I did, because I get to see this side of you where people are like, I'm gonna be a little standoffish, because they don't see that side of you and everything that goes on. So what would you guys feel like is a healthy number for friends?
Well, best friend? Do we do best friend at this age?
Like, I still do besties.
Yeah,
I still do besties.
Okay. It's only one best friend in my book. One best friend. Everybody else is just close friends. I think as far as close friends, I need no more than 3 or 4. And then the best friend.
I'm probably at the same. I'm naturally an introvert and don't need a lot. Like, I don't have to be in a crowd or around a lot of people all the time. So I would say I have about 3. I have one best friend and 3 close, really close.
Not to say I don't have friends, other friends. Yeah.
Nobody was thinking
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No one was thinking that.
The friends, the ones that are, I have one best friend, but then I have close friends that I share things with. And it's weird. There are certain friends that I can share certain things with that I can share this with this person, but maybe not with this person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah. And I know this sounds crazy, but every once in a while I stop and go, I got friends. I got girls. There are certain ones I call on Monday morning and we talk all the way to work. And on Tuesday, it's another one we talk all the way to work. And it wasn't like that growing up. So I'm just real jazzed about that.
In response to your question, Kaisha, I feel like you can have multiple best friends. I have multiple best friends.
Do you?
My number is 5, and I just my mom always said something to me, and it was deep. She said, "Remember, your best friend has a best friend," and that stuck with me. So I'm mindful of. I'm not even gonna say that I'm mindful because I feel like if I tell you something, I talk to you, I'm being free. I feel like that's a safe space. If you violate that, then I'm done.
Right.
I'm done. And with my friendships, people know that temperament of me. They know that no hard feeling. I will dance at your wedding if you give me an invite. If something happens to your mom, your dad, I'm gonna be there. If you need me, I will come. But I'm only going to rock with you at a distance. Not being bitter or anything like that, but
Protect
you
yourself.
just
That
you have
boundary.
to protect yourself because you know
And that
every
shows,
best friend has a best friend.
and that shows. I never heard that before, but I like it. But I think back to the bound.
Put it in the notebook.
Right.
Write
Right.
it
Go with the
down.
notebook. The value. If you have friends and you back to the boundaries thing, and you set those boundaries, it shows that you value the relationship more. You value the relationship, and it helps you to make sure, like she said, keep them in. And I think that with you setting those boundaries with people, you kind of sift through who you can call your people and who you can't.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we
Yeah.
all have different personalities. So just because, we have different personalities. I for some reason, I'm always around or closest to extroverts or people that are a lot more social than me, but it balances out. I don't know. So it's just different personalities as well. So.
And I agree with you with that. You know, sometimes with me being an extrovert, I attract introverts, and I have a bestie. She doesn't want you to hug her. I know this about her, and I hug her.
Yeah.
You know, like
I can't stand when people do that.
But, and she's just like, I can't stand you.
Right.
And I know she feels like that. She
Yeah.
really can't stand me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna love on her.
That's
Love
me
all
all
over.
day.
But that's just the attraction that you have.
Do your
So,
friends cross paths? Do you have all y'all a group of friends?
once upon a time, we did cross paths because I would kind of merge us all together to do a trip and say to do this, to do that. In the past, I have introduced a friend to a friend and didn't have any issues.
Oh, it did work.
It worked.
Oh,
We
good.
would hang out, we would do stuff, and they just kind of knew, even if it was just short and sweet. Oh, I know, we're doing this for the weekend, and that's it. But it wouldn't be like if we all sat at the table together to break bread, you would feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And to the point that you can kind of joke and say what you need to say to that person, it was that type of level of comfort.
What do you think would happen? What have you ever experienced when one of your friends met another one of your friends and they didn't really click? And they'll tell you, "Oh, she was all right, but she ain't my type."
And the verbiage that they use is, "I'm not rocking with her, Kim." And I'm like, okay, I respect it. And I wouldn't let them cross paths again. Because it was just something.
Yeah.
It was just something about them.
Yeah.
that-
Yeah.
And ironically, one of my girlfriends that didn't like my friend was the only person I ever fell out with.
Hmm.
Only person I ever fell out with. And I will tell you, while we're going there, going through life and never having a trial, a beef, or anything with a friend, that when that relationship ended, I mourned that relationship. It was hard for me. I talked to this person every single day. I joked, laughed, danced, they celebrated the life of my daughter, was there with me when I had that. And then for that relationship to end, I had to pivot. But for a minute, I didn't know what to do. I did everything with this person. I mean, you talk about meetings, assemblies, everything. I did everything with this person. And I, another thing too, I'm just like, you're my spiritual friend. Of all people, I had to take the blow to the chest from that friend, not a worldly friend, but that's neither here nor there. I mourned that relationship. It was hard for me. And I finally got to the point where when I see her, I'm so happy to see her. But we never got back. And that just may be my temperament, because I hug her and I love on her and I'm glad to see her, and we always do the little, oh, let's get together, call me, let's get something to eat. We never do it. We never do it. And it's, I mean,
sometimes it's just best to leave it where it is.
Right. And in hindsight, like that, I think about it now, it kind of makes me a little sad, but it's the reality of it. But I'm glad that I'm one and done. I'm glad that that's the only, because that pain, I don't want that pain.
Yeah.
I don't like pain like that.
I can relate to that. So the three friendships that ended at the same time, I mourned those friendships. And that's 3. And so it was yours times 3. And it's not a good feeling, because when you're so like invested in a relationship and you can see that those people didn't feel the same way that you felt, it's like, wow, okay. So then you start to second guess your judgment of people. At least I did. I don't know if you did, but I did. I second guessed a lot of my decision making skills, because I was like, well, I was friends with them for this many years and I never saw that coming. So what else am I wrong about or misjudging in my life? You know? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes,
But
it
it
does.
does. It does. Even though I didn't do that. Moving forward, like the other people that I encountered, and I've developed a friendship with someone else after that relationship. I didn't put a guard up. I didn't put a wall up. I was open. I'm open to it. That's just my temperament, my personality. Even when my heart was broken by a guy, I'm open to love, because I'm just like, that's a lesson that you learn. And I'm glad that I moved forward, because I have a bestie that's in my life now, and I can't, sometimes I can't even process how I went through life without her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. Like, I just kind of feel like she was always there, you know, and transitioning from that friendship.
I guess I might be cold-hearted.
You don't care.
Because when I left, I literally when I left, when I left Texas, I stopped communication. Literally, she messaged me a couple times. I just ignored it. But I think at that point I was hurt so much by multiple things, because it was at the time that I was going through my divorce as well. So I was just like, I'm cutting. If you ain't benefiting my life, if you're not helping me, if you're not like encouraging me to be better, and you just using me, I'm cutting everybody off. And so I ain't talked to him since then. I ain't thought about it. I really haven't even thought about it. I didn't even mourn it. Well, I was mourning I lost my mother around that time, went through a divorce, and that was minor compared to everything else I was mourning. I'll say it like that. So.
Another thing that I was thinking about is in regards to this era that we're in right now with social media and friendships. And I was looking at something on TikTok because I started spiraling down a rabbit hole. And the guy has said to the girl not to, it was on a podcast, and the girl was relaying the story, and she was saying that there was a guy that followed a girl into the bathroom, and as she was coming out the bathroom, he stopped her and said, "Don't drink your drink that's on your table. They put something in your drink. They're trying to poison you." And so she went to the table, and they were like, "Come on, girl, come on, drink your drink." And she was like, "You drink it. I don't want nothing to drink." And it kept pressuring her. So she tried to pass it. And in the mix of her passing the drink, one of the girls was like, "Yeah, we can't stand you. Yeah, we put something in your drink." And I'm just like, yo, I just kind of think that's crazy. So we're in the spring, and we're approaching the summer, and you're thinking about taking trips with your friend. We think about that young lady, Miss Robertson, from Charlotte, North Carolina. You get off of your turf to go to vacation with people that you think is your friends.
Yeah.
These friends have the audacity to call your mother and tell your mother, not only did you leave her, but you know you harmed her. Like, it's a whole different beast on social media. And I know there are so many people who are attracted to the friendships. They want the likes, they want the views, they want all of that. But I'm attracted to looking in the stories, and I'm seeing a group of women, because I am team girlies and team women, but I'm noticing there's smaller and smaller groups. You know, there's those little numbers, the 5s, 3s, the 2s, just a small group.
To go in more so about the friends that you think are your friends and they're not, something that I recently saw, it was also on social media, and I can't remember who it was, but it was somebody talking about like micro expressions. And micro expressions, when you, like, it's hard to hide, you can't hide a micro expression. So they gave an example of somebody coming into to a room, and somebody might go, like, roll their eyes or look up or look away, and then look at you and go, "Hey girl, how you doing?"
Right.
What they did first lets you know what they really thought about you.
Absolutely.
And so I think that if we paid more attention to the nonverbal stuff, or even sometimes the verbal stuff, because a lot of people, sometimes they do it as a joke, but they're so sincere when they say,
being condescending, or even saying, "Oh, how's your little business going?
little business, why I gotta be little?
How's your little podcast going?"
Yeah, why I gotta be little? You know, stuff like that.
Just joking.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Or, y'all got any followers yet? You know, like, are you really showing genuine concern and care, or are you just trying to pick at what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? So you can tell those people from watching and observing, and so that's more so what I try to do now, is just watch and observe people. And if I get a feeling, I trust my feeling.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I do.
I trust my feeling until they show me otherwise, and see, I got
show me otherwise. You ain't gonna get a chance to.
No, right.
Once I got a feeling, like, for me, because I'm, like y'all say, I'm mysterious and I'm quiet and stuff like that.
It's for a reason.
It's for a reason.
Yeah. And I feel you on that. And so my thing is, but see, I believe firmly, because I have been one that has changed, that people can change. So that's why I try to say, until they show me otherwise, that's just, I put them all the way over there, away from me, outside of my space. And yeah, I think I'm still filtering through people, but that's for me to keep, to myself. And
yeah, I think you have to screen people, especially like on social media. I have a sister that I had friended on social media, and I, in my head, she's like my social media bestie. I've never met her, but when we chit chat on the socials, our energy is like we sat in a room, and we're from the adjoining towns upstate, and she's so dope. Like, if I have a question about my plant, I go to her. Yeah. I think about her. I've never seen her in my life. Just from the socials, that you gravitate towards a person, you bond with a person, and you make a connection like that. You're in and out. But there are some people who need that.
Yeah.
They feed off of that. They're attracted to the numbers, and like you were saying, oh, your little 5 followers. We love you, 5 followers. You know what I'm saying? Like you just have that, and you just have to be careful. So we all can't be like Mrs. Anti-social media.
I'm on there now. I'm up there. I just don't have a lot to say. And the reason why I'm anti-social media is because it's a number of reasons, but this friendship thing is one of them. I learned from the way people treated me as a kid. It's not so much that I want to be angry and not be friends with people, but I don't want to lose who I am just to be friends with somebody. You know, this is me, and you either want to be friends with me like this or not. Choice is yours. You can get with this, or you can get with that.
Because it's, I mean, a friendship is work. In this article with the Mayo Clinic, you know, it talks about how you can nurture the friendships. Ways that you can nurture the friendship is you have to be kind, you have to be a good listener, you have to open up, you have to show that you can be trusted, make yourself available, and manage your nerves and mindfulness. And when you think about that, in previous relationships, like you were just saying, Kai, how many people did that? You may have done that, but the other person wasn't reciprocating those things and nurturing a friendship.
But I wasn't perfect with it. You know what I mean? But because I will admit that I was super, super stubborn about certain things. Certain things I was super stubborn about. And that's just one of the flaws that I had at the time. Am I stubborn like that now? Probably.
It depends.
It depends on the topic.
I'm still the same friend. Get it together.
Ain't nothing changed.
Ain't nothing changed.
I'm working
You can
on.
get with this, or you can get with that.
Right.
Yes. I'm working on being a good listener. We've discussed this another time about being selfish. Me. And I was so used to being by myself. I am really good by myself. Like,
Believe her.
yes. I'm really good. Like, I go out by myself. I go to a movie by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I go do all kinds of stuff by myself. And I especially can stay in my house with a good book by myself. So I wasn't a good listener. People could be talking to me, and I would be looking at them. And if they would have asked me to tell them just one thing they said, I couldn't tell them. So I think you, Kai, told me something about what it takes to be a good friend. She wasn't telling me because she knew I wasn't. She was telling me because of something you had read or saw in a TikTok or something. and I started thinking about that. Well, are you... Some of the things you said, I thought that I was pretty good at as far as friendship is concerned. But that part about being a good listener, I knew that I wasn't. So I've been really working on actively listening to what people are saying to me so that I can be a good friend.
And I think tuning in to the atmosphere may also be beneficial. You know what I mean? Because you can like tune
Zone out.
I do. I know. I could be in a room full of people and be by myself.
Yeah.
But I learned.
Mentally reading a book. Even
Yes,
a book.
yes. I learned that as a kid, though, you know, so that I wouldn't feel sad because I didn't have a clique of friends. So I learned how to, I used to go downtown to the library and hang out there all day, to the point where the librarian would bring her lunch and bring me some too.
Wow.
Oh, look at you little apple eaters. So, Erica, would you view yourself as a good friend?
Now definitely. I'm the type of person that, like, if anybody I love needs me, I'm there. And whatever I gotta sacrifice, whatever I gotta do to be there. So yeah, I think in the past, I know one thing my friends used to say all the time was I was very blunt. Sometimes people, I'm a lot better with my words now. Before, I could care less. I would just say it. With the intentions behind it was love and to tell you the truth. But sometimes they would be like, nah, that came off a little strong. You know what I mean? Whereas now I've definitely worked on that. I'm not like that no more. So.
Were you blunt or were they sensitive?
No, I was blunt.
Okay.
Yeah, I take that.
I was trying to give you the benefit of
you can't even do that.
But nowadays,
for a fact,
people are super sensitive. Oh no, I trip out when I hear people say you're negative, maybe. When in reality, you're telling them the truth. They just don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah, sometimes it's the way you say it. So that first thing that you said was to be kind,
Right.
So sometimes you can tell, and you want your friends to tell you the truth, and I want my friends to tell me the truth, and I want to be honest with them. But it's also the way that you say it. Right?
Season your words with salt.
Right.
Absolutely. What about you, guys?
Am I a good friend?
Yes.
I think I'm an amazing friend now.
She all right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. I was literally gonna say that when you said that you're a good friend.
I got you first.
I'm gonna hold back, but not. I think I'm an amazing friend now.
Nah, she is.
Yeah, because and okay, so especially like for my sister-in-law. We was halfway home today, and she know how I feel about the highway. But we turned around because I love her. I love my friends. Like I really I care so much about my friends. When you're my friend, I really care about you.
Yeah.
And I might talk about you to you and maybe to a person that you know or something, but not about you or behind your back in a malicious way. But I talk about you because I love you, so I like to, share positive things that go on for you or for whatever. Platform. Yeah, like give them their flowers, right. So if somebody got some good news, that's my friend. I want to tell people about it, even though but I have to be careful too because some people don't like their business in the street.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of realize
who it is,
yeah. and
what it is,
and what it is, because I can talk, okay, and if you know me, like I talk a lot, but that's only when I feel comfortable. Yeah. If I'm not comfortable with you, I'm quiet and I'm just observing.
You're just gonna take it out.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm a good friend, and what you were saying, Erica, in regards to the way you talk and the tone, like you'll listen to this podcast and you'll hear me and hear my personality, and you'll get to the point where you'll just feel like, you know what, that's just Kim. Because sometimes I say things and I feel like I'm harsh. I know Kaisha, I was like, chewing you down one morning, early in the morning, because I thought, listening back to the podcast, I was being offensive to Karen, and I was just like, and, of course, Karen tells me that I was being sensitive because that's her word. I'm going through perimenopause. So I may be a little sensitive, but it's funny. We were doing a little, I went to Atlanta and I did this test, and that was one of the things that they said about me with my personality type, that I am sensitive, and it's something that I am working on. So, not between the sensitivity and the hormones, like you got,
girl,
I'm struggling, but just to wrap this up, this is my favorite scripture that I'm gonna read. This is coming from the New World Translation of the Bible. It's at Proverbs 18:24, and it says, "There are companions ready to crush one another, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." You guys are my brothers, and I love you so much. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you. Thanks for tuning in to the podcast. If you've been inspired by today's episode and want to hear more, be sure to subscribe to Layers to Love on your favorite podcast platform. Since we are in the early stages of Layers to Love, we would appreciate it if you would share the podcast with your friends and family. Just simply click the episode and send it, which can help us reach more listeners and build a supportive community. Until the next episode, take care.